It's time to focus on the things you need, the things you deserve. You deserve a healthy body, supplements that get you moving and keep you moving, that make you feel good, look good, do good. And they shouldn't contain GMOs, artificial ingredients, or heavy metals, ever. Supplements that are clinically studied, use proven absorption technologies, are designed by scientists, and are ethically sourced and produced. Supplements with everything you need, nothing you don't. You deserve a company that you can trust, that's dedicated to safe manufacturing practices and third-party testing, that ensures the highest quality of effectiveness from extraction of ingredients all the way to the composition of the packaging. Wait a second. You deserve to see the process. You deserve a company led by a CEO with a deep belief in the power of people, dedicated to inspiring entrepreneurs to achieve success. A company with a phytonutrient chemist and expert on natural molecules who is obsessed with human health and has your best interest in mind to design its products. A board comprised of talented doctors from around the world. You deserve to be surrounded by people you trust and look up to. Empowered ambassadors that inspire wellness every day. Leaders who are rooting for you to be the best version of yourself. A community that works hard and plays hard. You deserve to experience adventures that take you around the world, and you deserve to be recognized for your hard work. It's time to get what you deserve. It's time to shift your focus. 3.
Happy Tuesday. This is Christine Peterson, and welcome to Empowerment Tuesday. And I'm so excited to share some nuggets that will help you advance in your career today. Just a little about my background. I've been in the industry for 42 years. Isn't that extraordinary? I can't even believe it. I don't know where the time goes, but I'm still fired up and excited about the future and so happy to be part of this movement. Just a little about my background. I was a former teacher. I taught school for 17 years. I lived in California. And one day someone said, you need to think about doing this other company in this world of direct sales. And I said, oh, I would never do anything like that. And I would never drive that car. I kind of had an attitude like a lot of people that you're going to meet along your journey in building your business. You'll meet people like me that think maybe you just do this because you can't do anything else. But then they showed me proof of what people were making at the top of the industry. And I said, well, maybe I could do that, and isn't that the truth? How many times have we thought, oh, I don't know if I can do it, but the possibilities are there for us if we would just be open to new adventures. So I joined a company and I started out. And of course, I got really excited, just like the rest of you. You're thinking, boy, I can do this. You can see the future. You love the products. You can see the revenue sharing programs. You can see the future of changing lives and changing your own future. And as you start to go in the future, all of a sudden, about 30 days or 60 days, you kind of go, oh, wait a minute, it's not going as fast as I want. But I kind of went on that journey, and I'd like to share that because there's a lot of lessons to be learned as I learned along the way. And maybe I can give you some enlightenment so that you will be able to move faster, quicker, and not get stopped with things that get into your head. Yeah, success is a mind game. I realized when I was at my age, I was about 39 years old and going on 40. And I realized from birth to 18, you need good parents. And from 18 to 35, you need good looks. And from 35 to 50, you need good personality. But after 50, you need cash. And I was right there. I didn't have much cash. I was just living from paycheck to paycheck. And I thought, if I don't make a change, I will be exactly where I am. So as I said, I ventured out I was really excited. And of course, I immediately had people already saying to me, "Oh, now why would you want to do that?" And you're going to have that. And of course, our friends and family are usually the worst, aren't they? Because they don't understand it. I think a lot of us come from families or backgrounds, or we're taught in school, you know, go to school, get good grades, do what the teacher tells you. You come out and then you're conditioned to go and get a job. And then you wait for instructions at the next level and they tell you what to do. And you sit there for the many years building somebody else's dreams and your dreams don't come true. But that's the way we were conditioned. It's difficult for us to even think about being entrepreneurial because we're not taught that in school. We're taught to get good grades and be straight A students. But the reality is, listen to this, C plus students become the best leaders in the world. And you know what? They hire the A students to do their work and to help build their companies. And so you don't have to be a mental giant in this industry. You just have to like people and get excited about changing lives. So as I started to venture out, my mother thought I was absolutely had lost my mind. My mother had graduated from the university in the 30s. That was exceptional time for women to even go to college. And when I told her I was going to get into direct sales, she said, "Oh, no, no, we don't do that. And I would never give you a party. And you need to go back and get your master's degree." But I penciled it out. It didn't make much sense. I'd only make another $100 a month. And I said, "No, Mom, I'm going for this." No, none of my friends gave me any help. Well, my sister did sign up, but none of my relatives. Suddenly, all my teacher friends that I thought would give me the appointments or hear about the opportunity, "Oh, no, we don't do that." And then I had to question myself just at that moment. It was like, "Oh, can I really do this?" Because all of my friends around me were influencing me. And you have to be very, very careful about who you listen to. It's just like the crab pots, when they put crabs in a pot, they never have to put a lid on because when one crab starts to climb up, everybody else pulls it down, all the crabs. And that's what people do because this is the reality. Listen to this. These are Harvard studies. 1% write their goals down. Write this down for you tonight. 1% write their goals down. 3% have their goals in their head. And 67% daydream. And 29% have no goals at all. So now we're dealing with 96% of the people that you're going to prospect. And they don't have any information. They daydream or they have no goals at all. And of course, those are the people you talk to. But who should you be talking to? You want to talk to the 1% and 3% that we will talk about in a moment to build your board of directors. But I didn't know that at that time. I immediately just started talking to everybody I knew. And I finally got one appointment. Listen, I booked 3 or 4 appointments. We had to do parties in that particular business. And I remember going on a Friday night to do an appointment. And I got home at 11 o'clock. I had sold 0. And I said, "I don't think I can do this." And I came in, I woke my husband up. How dare he should be sleeping when I'm out doing those classes? I was like, how we get. And so I kind of slammed things around, threw my beauty case in the closet. And I said, "I don't think anybody can make money at this business. I quit." And he says, wait. He says, "Wait a minute. Don't you remember all the times that I was going out and showing land?" He was a land developer. And then people would say, "No, no." But then I just kept on going. And then I got the big deal. And I went, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, what makes you different?" He said, "Now you go tomorrow, go to the next appointment." So I was like, "Oh, no." But I got in the car and I drove an hour to the next appointment. And I sold $350. And then I was like, "Yeah, I love this business." You see, this is the way we are. We're either in a high or a low. There's no in between. And so I began. And then I really realized very quickly, I only had so many hours in a day to sell product. So I knew that I had to build people. I knew I needed to build leaders. I knew I needed to build a passive residual income, something I would do one time that would pay off for generations of hours and years to come. So I started building, and my first year I built 7 directors, and I was all excited. Boy, I thought, this is it. I'm going to be a national sales director in 2 years. That would be like being a 6-star or something, like 6 or 7-star. And I thought, this is it. This is so easy. I can do this. Well, about 2 years later, those leaders decided maybe it wasn't for them. And then there I was back to I had one leader left. And then I had to do a lot of soul searching thing. Is this really for me? And I started looking, am I really making that much money? Can I do this? And there it was, the voice talking to me again. And garbage in, garbage out. That voice is talking to you 24 hours a day, isn't it? And you say, what is that voice? That one. That one talks to you. And then what do? We regress back into our old past. Well, maybe my mom was right. Maybe my friends were right. And you self-doubt yourself. But you know what? Every success story and person feels the same way. What is the difference in the winners and the losers? The winners just get up one more time. So what did I do about that time? I was making a move from California to Texas, and I moved, and I didn't have much of a unit left, and I had one director, and I was kind of self-doubting. But I moved to a new city, and I said, you know what? I'm not letting anybody stop my dream. I flipped up my umbrella and said, no one's going to rain on my parade. And you have to be really, really, um, to really guard your mind, because people will try to sabotage you. Why? Because they are the 96% that have no goals and no dreams. They don't want to do the work, but they don't want you to be successful because it makes them look bad. And then they'll start saying things like, well, don't you need to spend more time with your children? Well, what does your husband say? You work too hard. Yeah, I do work hard because I want to provide for my family and leave a legacy. That's why I'm doing this. But I moved into a city at that time, and about that time there were about 70 other leaders. Now I could have also said, "Oh, this is not good. It's already the city's got enough people here." But it kind of reminded me of the story. A shoe salesman, he went to Africa, and he looked around, and he said, "Bad market. Nobody wears shoes." So he came home. So the shoe company said, hey, we've got to send another shoe salesman out there. We think there's opportunity. They sent the next shoe salesman out. The second guy looked around and said, hey, fantastic market. Nobody wears shoes. And so I kind of looked at it like, yeah, there were some other leaders there. But at the same time, guess what? The oil market had collapsed, and 100,000 people moved out of the city. And of course, I only saw it as opportunity for me. You see, it's the way you look at things. It's like, what you language, so it shall be. So I started all over. And I had this little unit, and this few little people that were still in my corner, but most of them had disappeared. Okay, sayonara, but they're not stopping my dream. So I started one person at a time. And I started going out and meeting people. We didn't have social media at all. And I would go out at Starbucks and talk to people and how are you today? I just made conversations. I was never pushing on people. Told them I just moved into the city. I was looking for leaders. We're going to build the biggest area. You see, nobody follows a parked car. Remember this. You have to take the posture of, this is where I'm going. This is who I am. This is what we're going to be doing. People like to be part of a movement. And I want you to think about, how is your posture? Are you just like, well, I don't know. I'm just going to try this 3 thing and see how it works out. Or I'm just for the products and I don't know. I'm going to take one step at a time. Well, you can, but you're not going to get super rich either. I mean, you just got to go into motion because people follow people who know where they're going. It's almost like the fake it till you make it. Even though you're not there yet, you have to believe again before the evidence appears. And so I started with 1, 2, 3, started with coffee shops, and then suddenly I had a table, and then suddenly we had more people, and then we had to get a room. We did opportunities, and then in 2 years later, I became a national sales director. And you know what I did? I used to send a newsletter back to California, and all my people that were still on the roll but didn't do much. And I put in the front page, I said, welcome new consultants. And I put their names down, where they're from in the center, Houston, Houston, Houston. On the last column, I said, the person that cared. Christine Peterson, Christine Peterson, Christine Peterson, Christine Peterson. And I got remarks, they'd go, wow, you're just going on with or without us. I said, absolutely. I see the big dream. And that's why I want you to get this posture. Don't let anybody stop you. But as you begin to build now, you really have to build and have an abundance thinking. You can either think, you can play small or you can play big. I choose to play big, always. And so we're going to build, and what you want to focus on, if you want to go really fast, is you want to build your board of directors. Now, think about that. If you're building a business, you want to find 10 great go-getters. How do you know who's a go-getter? They get the most done. They're business owners. They're people that are entrepreneurial spirit. They are, and such a good time right now. I'm so excited right now because you know what? AI is changing the world. I feel like that we're at the dawn of the 18th century when the Industrial Revolution emerged and all the yeomen got left behind. Well, guess what? A third of the world's businesses or jobs are going to be gone. 143,000 got laid off of IT in July, and Google laid off 2,000 because they only need 4 people with AI. AI is changing the whole world. I see it as opportunity. So we have millions and millions and millions and millions of people looking for opportunity. So when you're sorting and sifting, and that's what you're going to do in this business, in not self-doubting yourself, but just believe that you are part of this movement of the greatest health and wellness company in the world and where it is going and casting the vision for people to follow, you will have an astounding business. But to go fast, as we do the power of 2, everybody in rows, 1 on the right, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and 1 left. But we want to find the 10 great people that will be on your board of directors. Isn't that what every company does? I mean, let's look at Elon Musk. Doesn't he hire the most capable, most intelligent people? Big businesses hire the best people. And then we kind of go back to that C plus leader is hiring A plus people to do the work for them. And that's what you want to do. You want to find smart people that also have influence on others. Why? Because we have an attraction principle in this world. Now, I want you to do this for me too. I want you to go on a piece of paper and go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you are looking for 8, 9s, and 10s to be on your board of directors. They are the people who they set the goals. They have their goals in their head. They're the go-getters. They are the ones that are going to run with you. They are your pack of people that believe with you. And you know what? They will attract everyone else down below to the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s. But if you go down and circle down and go to the 1, 2s, 3s, 4s, who are they? They're the people that don't have the goals and they just daydream. They can never recruit an 8, 9, or 10. You have to really work smart and work down. And as you begin to build these 10 people, and it might take a little bit to find them. But it doesn't matter It's just you want to get them. It's just I consider myself a big game hunter. Maybe it's from Texas. If some people just didn't want to hunt with me, I'd say that dog just doesn't want to hunt. So next, that was my 4-letter word. I just loved it. And I always kept in my mind, I'm going to get the best people to be on my board, because the attraction principle is they attract who they are. And one good business builder will bring in 1,000 people. Yeah, that could be 10,000 people. Instead of going down in the 96%, I don't know. Do you think I can do it? Why would you want to do that? Those are the people you keep going back to, and they say no, no, they don't get it. And you get frustrated, and you're going to go, oh, I don't know, maybe this isn't for me. No, it is for you. You're just talking to the wrong people. Get smart. Remember Elon Musk? Remember me? I looked for the best people. And then I started building. Another little thing that you want to do, you want to build in 5 major areas in the country or the world. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket. Like, you just wouldn't want to build in one area, because if there was a flood, a fire, a storm, it could, and everything, the business stops. You've got to have revenue coming from other sources. So I'm right now working for Seattle, Texas, the Golden Triangle, 3 cities there, in Atlanta, Chicago, Miami. I'm strategizing to get those leaders on my board of directors into those positions to get them going in the footholds. Because if they are such leaders, they will attract others. There's another 1,000, right? And then that could be 20,000. And then those people attract the same people like themselves. That could be 30,000. That's how these people end up with 30, 40, 100,000 people, because they work smart, not hard. And I had to learn that to get through that. I just, as I went through, I, I could remember the frustration of, I'd be working and working, and that's something else. I had to change my work behavior. When I first started the business in the very beginning, I thought, oh, this is nice. I don't have to get up too early. I had an 8 to 5 job. I had to get up. I was on a routine, teaching school 6, and then get in the car, take my daughter to school. I had one daughter, coming back, going da 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 da. Then suddenly I was an entrepreneur, and I didn't have to get up early. And so I found myself at 11 o'clock in the morning. I was still in my robe. I said, well, and I hadn't even made any phone calls. I was just enjoying the journey. How many of you have done that? Or you're still in your sweats? You know what? First of all, you want to dress for success. Even if you're on Zoom, you want to look good, because first impressions are lasting impressions. People will look at you in 3 seconds, they scan you. Do I want to do business with you? So you always want to look good and be successful. I mean, you don't have to be decked out with high heels all the time, but at least look nice. And so people say, I would like to do business with them. Now, if you are trying to recruit people in the lower third that have no goals, and they're in this lower level, which are harder to recruit anyway, because their attitude is not really where you want to be, and you wouldn't want them on your board of directors, would you? Think about it. Would you want those no goals and daydreamers on your board of directors? You wouldn't make much money. So you got to be smart. You got to think like Elon Musk. But if you're recruiting people beneath you, and you're a little embarrassed, and you have to turn off your porch light so your neighbors don't see who's coming to visit you, then maybe they're not the right person. Or if you go to convention and you're trying to con that person off to one of your other team members to room with, maybe that's not the best person. So we want to level up and have a good image, and be great leaders, and create this movement in the world, and just have this attitude that we can do it. And remember, success is not built on motivation. It's just consistent, small daily actions. Action really creates the motivation. When you go into action and you don't feel like it. I mean, I get up at 6 o'clock every morning and I put my makeup on. Why? Because I have a team that's counting on me to be there every morning for my people. So I get dressed for success, and then I get on the Zoom and I empower my people. And then we do training also. And then we go into George's group, which is an amazing leader, he and Adrian, and we have a great group going. But you want to be part of something uh, extraordinary. And why it's important, and again, erase the mind, these people that try to rain in your parade or dump on you. I mean, you got to get that 2-inch thick rhinoceros skin, and if somebody says no to you, boom, 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 it just pops right off. Because on Sunday afternoon, you can be driving right down the countryside, and then you can be waving and looking out in the pasture at the lazy moo cows. Moo, moo, moo. But you are the strong rhinoceros. You've seen it and you're going on. And really, success is the sweetest revenge, isn't it? And ladies also, if you're waiting for that man on the white horse to arrive, I'm sorry to tell you, he's not arriving. Usually the Honda arrives. So you've got to take action. And if you want a successful man, you better be successful, because successful men like successful women. Now, I'm going to kind of close on this story because, sometimes you have husbands or ex-husbands. I mean, sometimes you kiss frogs and then you get a prince. But I had an ex-husband who never thought this would ever work and would try to pull me down, stop me from doing this. Well, I got rid of him, and I went on and became successful. Now, who would who would know? I mean, can you believe this is a true story? He was a captain in U.S. Air, and he was flying in an airplane, and the co-pilot said, as you know, there's no place for them to arrive or to talk, or, I mean, there's nothing, they can't run around. They have to sit in the seats and they're talking back and forth. Oh, well, where are you from? Do you have a wife? Yeah. What does she do? And so my ex-husband says to the co-pilot, oh, what does your wife do? And the guy says, oh, my wife is a director in Mary Kay. And he said, oh, really? He said, well, my ex-wife is in Mary Kay. Now, a back channel on this story is he used to make me turn in all my paperwork and penny pinch me every week. Even though I was teaching school and made a good living, he'd always make me, oh, we can't afford this, we can't do this, with all the penny pinching. And so now you know the background of the one that has no goals, just does 8 to 5 job, gets paid for time for money, time for money. That's all he can think of. He can't think out of the box like me, and I'm not going to let him stop me. And as a result, guess what? The other co-pilot said, well, what is her name? And he says, oh, Christine Peterson. And he said, oh my God, you're really screwed up. Do you know how much she's making? She's making $100,000 a month. And I'm sure the plane was ready to crash. But I was so happy to hear that story. So there might be people in your life that try to sabotage you, but you get that 2-inch thick skin and you find those board of directors. Work smart, not hard, because they are out there. And don't worry who tries to rain or on your parade, try to stop you, because you're going to drive that Rolls Royce looking out at all the people who said no, and you don't care, because you're building a legacy in the greatest company of all time. And I can tell you, I'm 81 years old, and if I could do this, you can do this. And I certainly don't want to retire and die. I mean, don't you hate that? Die? Who wants to die? I'm going to live to over 100 with the help of Dr. Dan Gubler. And so you can too. But again, you're at the perfect time. It's a perfect storm here we are going up, up, up. We're still in a foundational phase. We have patents pending on our product. We're going to be the vision of Daniel. What an amazing CEO, and Kim and Samson and these great leaders. I mean, they have been there, they've done it. The Marks, the Corbins, and Holly. I mean, all these great leaders are here. We know where we're going. So you got to join our movement and go, but you got to erase and get all negativity, any doubts. Be careful who you hang around with. They call them energy suckers. They suck your energy out of you. Stay away from them. Guard your mind. Only level up and take advice, be successful in your own right, and you will have everything that you want. We will be, I really believe we will be in 100 countries, and we will do 10 billion a year. I believe that with every fiber of my being, but you must go into action. I keep saying one more point, but this is important. You are now going to meet more people between now and the holidays than any other time. Open your mouth. Open your mouth, and not to be afraid. Don't be afraid of who says no, but worry about who you miss. You could change their lives. So I'm excited for all of you, and we're all on a fantastic journey. Get your board of directors, go through your list. Who are the go-getters? And if you don't see any go-getters, go find some go-getters. They walk fast, they act fast, they want more. They're the C+ people who figure out a way. They break rules. They figure out how to do businesses. You don't have to babysit them. They're just like, let's do this. Let's create the movement. And you will love the business instead of stretching down and trying to pull the people up that don't really want to do it because they have no goals, no aspirations. They're just hoping they win the lottery. So lots of love to all of you, and let's make this the greatest company of all time. Thank you, and happy Tuesday.